Okay, everybody, you know what time it is. It's the Pantry Party Show time. With a little bit of a glow in the dark pantry party, a little bit of sounds to work us in. And we're having a great guest today at Chelsea Amer Nutrition. She's going to be with us talking all things fish. Woo! All right, everybody, it's time. Welcome to the Pantry Party Show with your host, me, at DJ Blattner. Cannot wait for this next guest. Today, I sought after her because she has a new book out. Her book is the 28-day Pescetarian meal plan and cookbook. And I'm obsessed with trying to get more fish in my diet, and who better than the author herself to come on and tell us about it. So thanks everybody for your upbeat comments already. Kurt, it's time to party. I love it. Let's get Chelsea in here and do our thing, people. All right, and do our thing. Hey, girl. Chelsea! Oh my gosh. Oh, I almost forgot this. What?
Wow.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, girl, here's what I have to say. You look like you're ready to party.
I am.
Look at you. You have like the puff sleeve and the greatest earrings ever.
You know what? When I was thinking about what to wear for this party, because I'm usually taking care of my 10-month-olds all day and like working at night now since this whole quarantine situation, but I had an occasion to get dressed. So I'm like, you know, I'm going to do it up. And these earrings reminded me of you, like your bright lipstick always. So I was like, I gotta rock them for you.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Actually, I find your content, just to be very positive. I mean, it is really true when you look at your page. Like, your food is just happy. Has it been hard for you in this quarantine time to like stay positive? Do you have like some certain things that you're doing to sort of keep your bubble going?
So I'm actually very lucky. I have a 10-and-a-half-month-old son, so I haven't had like that much time to think about it. You know, we sort of, as soon as we couldn't have my nanny come anymore, I had to shift into full-time mom mode. And so just chasing after a 10-and-a-half-month-old who's almost walking, and then I'm always like preparing food for him and, you know, with his schedule. So it honestly, like, I haven't really had that much time. But with that said, I'm perfectly like human normal, and I've had like my weekly like meltdown, I call it, almost like once a week. I really just like feel the pressure of just balancing work and taking care of him full time now. And, you know, with the situation, especially, I live in New York City, so it's really anxiety provoking getting outside. The sidewalks still feel crowded, even though people are trying to keep their distance. So, you know, I try the best I can, and I have a great distraction, but, you know, I have my moments too.
Yeah, you know, I think that's just beautifully said. It's like, you know, no matter how positive things are, no matter how much you're like, you know, like distracted with great stuff. Yeah, of course, we all feel those feelings. So it's like, all right, I feel them, I acknowledge them, and here we go. I got to go run after it. What's your 10-and-a-half-month-old's name?
Lex.
Oh, Lex, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and I practiced your name. We went back and forth with the pronunciation. Listen, at Chelsea Amer Nutrition.
Yes, that's right. I know. I get Amer a lot, or, you know.
Yes, it's AIM, like AIM, AIM-ER, Amer. So anybody who's ever wondered, it's only 4 letters. How do you really say it?
I know.
That's her handle, at Chelsea Amer Nutrition. And congratulations on your new book, girl.
Thank you. It's such a crazy time to be releasing a new book.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know, I think that, I love that. I think that a lot of people could use the help. You know, more people than ever are cooking at home now. So it's really great to like have more recipes and have more support. And I'm really happy and excited for more people to get their hands on it.
Well, and you know, it didn't take me long to learn, even though there's a lot of words in the title, because it's very easy to remember. So it's 28 days, it's pescatarian, and it's a meal plan and cookbook. So it's got all of those things involved. Why I sought after you, I was like, could you please be a guest? And you're like, I have this baby, I have all these things, a lot. I'm like, please, is because I honestly am personally obsessed with trying to figure out how to eat more fish. I mean, honestly, I am. So is that something you've always been good at? Like, how did you get this topic? Like, why pescatarian?
So I was somebody who, I used to eat everything. My mom would say I was a picky eater growing up, but then like I didn't have any limitations on my diet. And then as I got older after college, I really started to play around with my diet a bit. I was sick for a little. I had like a health condition. So I was experimenting with like a vegan diet and vegetarian. And those were just really too restrictive. I have food allergies to nuts and sesame seeds. So it was just too restrictive to be a vegan. And I felt like a little bit of pressure doing that. And so when I was able to liberalize my diet a little bit more and started adding in fish again after a couple of years, I finally just felt to a place where I was satisfied after I was eating my meals, and it just made me feel a lot better. So I've always been a big fish eater. I love, I always grew up eating like the classic like salmon and shrimp, but then I really liked expanding my repertoire. I lived in Israel for a couple of years after college. And
Cool.
yeah, so I was in Tel Aviv. I was a few blocks from the Mediterranean Sea. So I got to experiment with all of these different types of fish. So I've like kind of always really been into fish. And so it's so healthy for you too, with all the omega-3 fatty acids. And, when I was pregnant, I was really cautious of eating enough fish. So it's kind of always been something that I've been into. And it's really scary for people. Like you said, people are so intimidated by cooking fish. They think that their whole house is going to smell. It's going to be too dry.
That's the number one thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like the whole house is going to smell. And then also it's like how to not make it boring. But you know what? I gotta really tell you, your story, everybody says, it's like the story that makes everything. Like, but that story of like it's like very sensitive and personal and like cool. That's like part of it is like living by the Mediterranean Sea. Part of it is a health condition, finding the right diet that feels the best for you. Like, that makes me want to get this book even more. Like hearing the backstory of that, it actually is not just a book you wrote. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people write books, but it's like, it's a book that means something to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so personal. And, I'm so excited because I think that fish is really one of those polarizing foods. And I don't think that we should feel polarized about like any foods, whether it's, even if it is meat also, like, or fish or grains. I think there are so many polarizing foods these days, but a pescatarian diet is like so broad. You really can include so many different things. And it's really like a plant heavy diet. You're including all of those great vegetables and plants and lentils and whole grains, but you're also adding fish in so you don't feel deprived or restricted, which I personally felt when I followed a vegan vegetarian diet. It's very flexitarian-esque. So,
Hey, anybody who uses the word flexitarian on my Pantry Party show gets a disco ball for sure. Well, I think that's actually one of the misconceptions about pescatarian eating is people all of a sudden hear pescatarian and they think you're going to eat fish at every single meal. And it's like, no, it's a plant-based diet with fish included. It's not like every single thing is halibut.
No, totally. Most of the recipes in the book, there's one chapter that's, centered on fish and seafood mains, but really, there's an entire breakfast chapter and soups and salads and sides and a whole vegetarian mains chapter and then even dessert. So there's not fish in every recipe, but it is fish heavy. But, there are some of my favorite recipes don't even include fish that I make over and over and over again.
Okay, so I love this, and there's a lot of dietitians who watch Pantry Party Show too, and a lot of your fans are on. Everybody always asks me, can you ask the guests like how the book happened? So did you have this idea and you went to your publisher, or the publisher saw content that you were doing, or how did it, in a quick blurb, how did it sort of come down to be your book?
Yeah, so the publisher actually saw the content that I was doing, saw that I was a good fit for the book, and reached out to me about the topic. And I was like, game, given my backstory, you heard like it was such a perfect fit. So we made it happen. And yeah, I was testing recipes with a 3-month-old like strapped into me in the carrier. So it was so fun.
I love it. And that's, to me, that is an example of something that I have as a deep philosophy, is that opportunities find you when you're enthusiastically doing the work. It's not like you were sitting around and got this mysterious phone call. It's that you are putting out this creative content, this positive content, this delicious content, this beautiful content over and over and over. Showed up again, have a new baby, show up again. Like you just kept showing up. And then, of course, you get a call. And it happened to be, like you said, the most perfect fit for you personally. So on the Pantry Party Show, we always title each episode. And so the title that I'm forcing on you, obviously, is the fish episode or pescatarian episode. Because here's what I personally need help. I know a lot of my clients do, a lot of people who watch Pantry Party Show is like, okay, how do you even buy fish, let alone what you do with it and recipes for it? How do you buy it? I like the idea of frozen, but then I'm freaked out by it. I don't know. Tell me.
So I think that this is like one of the things that like holds people back from eating fish is it's like, well, I don't even know what to do. And then people are so intimidated approaching the fish counter. So I know right now, we have to keep 6 feet at the fish counter and everything, but you still, or even if you're food shopping at all, we've been ordering groceries online and having them delivered, but you can really still purchase frozen fish. And I think that that's the easiest, especially right now. People are only shopping once every couple of weeks. So when you have frozen fish, you get to decide when you want to use it. There's no expiration date per se.
You got a lot of hearts for that. Somebody just clicked on the heart button. I'm clicking on the heart button too, because that right there is like, it feels easier. Like just, okay, pick out some frozen fish. And then what about like what frozen fish to pick? Like, do you have sort of guidelines of like what to lean into or not?
So I just want to also comment that a lot of fresh fish, when you do go to the grocery store and you are able to go back, a lot of frozen fish actually a lot of fresh fish was actually previously frozen. So they often thought at the fish counter, like when the shipment comes in, but it's shipped a lot of times frozen. So you have to really ask the fishmonger or the people behind the counter, or if it doesn't say previously frozen, ask them about it. But it should be labeled previously frozen also, even though it looks fresh. It was once upon a time frozen. So you can just go and buy frozen, and that's really simple. I think it really just depends on what type of fish for like what type to buy, what you like. If you're starting out with something, if you're just starting out eating fish, choose something more mild, like a white flaky fish that's very versatile. You can make it into tacos. You can make like a nice fruit salsa to go on top of it with a bunch of spices. Or if you like salmon, salmon's always a really easy and accessible fish to buy frozen. And then if you want some shellfish, I think the easiest frozen would either be scallops or shrimp.
Yep. You know what? I forget about scallops. We have been doing shrimp in this house. I forget about scallops. It probably is because my skill set in cooking them I don't feel strong in it. I feel like
just sear them.
They get rubbery, and so I'm like, do I need big pellets of rubber right now? No. But if I did some due diligence and learned how to cook them, perhaps. So what about this? So is there anything like when you're looking at, like you said, you're doing online shopping and you're looking and you see this frozen fish online, is there any fish that you get so excited to see? Like, are you like, oh my gosh, barramundi? Or like, is there any fish that you are just like, it's your fish and you tell everybody, hey, all fish is great, but I secretly really love this one or two?
So I think like a lot of people love salmon. So if you do like salmon, one of my favorite like cousins, I would say, is Arctic char. Oh. It's one of my favorites because I discovered it first at a restaurant downtown in the city, and the way that they prepared it, I was so excited. Every time I went to this restaurant, I bought the same fish. And so I think Arctic char is a good one to look for if like you want something new. But I think if you're just starting out, go with what you feel comfortable with. First and foremost, like don't worry about what seems most exciting, but I love salmon. I think it's so versatile so many ways, and I love that it's packed with omega-3 fatty acids. I was just finished nursing my son, so I'm pregnant, so like for the past 2 years almost, I've been really focused on getting like all my omega-3 fatty acids from fish.
Yeah. So okay, so the fattier the fish, usually the fishier tasting the fish, right? So say somebody is like, I really don't like fish. Are you, like you said, more of the white fish, like what are examples? Like people say that, I even write that. Girl, I even write that. I'm like, use a white fish. And then I'm like, I don't even really know what that means.
any white fish that's like really thin, that looks thin and flaky, and ask behind the fish counter, what's the freshest one. But there's snapper, tilapia, Mediterranean sea bass. These are all different types of white fish that you can use. Flounder is another one.
Snapper, sea bass. And you know what? The first time I remember as an adult eating fish, it was at a restaurant. And I said, hey, I don't think I like fish. What's your least fishy fish? I want to try it. They said flounder. So that is a memory I haven't thought of for a very long time. But yes, so those are good white fish to start with. Now, are you in any camp of like buying it wild versus farmed versus like, that is a whole topic, in and of itself. So what's like the quick line on that?
Yeah, that's a big topic. I prefer to buy wild caught fish. However, there are some really great farm aquaculture farmed fish that are really responsibly raised. And I think that if you look into where you're getting your fish from and what farm it's coming from, you can have just as healthy of a fish as if it was wild. So I think that it's just about being an educated consumer. And I think people are really intimidated when they buy different foods to ask people at the grocery store, but that's what they're there for. And they are really educated. Or now, like, do a little bit of research online or see what it says. You can always call up the store also if you're ordering online, to learn where it comes from. But I think like times like these right now, you can buy wild canned fish that, you know, to get in those omega-3s and use it in different ways. A lot of people think like, oh, I don't like canned tuna, I don't like tuna salad, I don't like mayonnaise. But you can do so much more with it than just making like tuna salad.
That's, you know what, you are absolutely right. And I forget about that even. I mean, I have done shows already, the Pantry show, with canned salmon, canned mussels, canned tuna. So like, yes, so using frozen or canned, like you said, is great. And I like that tip. Is like, when in doubt, possibly it's just like lean into wild. But if you can be an educated consumer about what kind of farm it is, like what are they feeding those fish and how clean is the water and like what's up with that farm. If it's a good farm, well, farm doesn't have to have a bad name, right?
Right.
I love that. So, hey, Pantry Party Show, can we peek in your pantry?
Of course. I opened up my cabinets early for you. I tried to keep it somewhat organized, but I did not totally organize it. So this is most of my pantry. I live in New York City, so I have to say, like, I have a very small pantry. We don't have tons of storage, which you probably got living in a city too.
Oh, yeah, it is so true. So, like, let's say, okay, you have a frozen fish. So either we got, you know, per your suggestion, the next time we go grocery shopping, or we have it lingering in our freezer. We have something like a sea bass, or we have a flounder, or we have there was another white fish you said, sea bass, snapper, or we go with the salmon, or what's your feeling on barramundi? I don't even really, what is that? Is that something?
I think barramundi, I haven't cooked with barramundi, but that's another white fish that I think is very similar to sea bass. There's no barramundi in my book though, so I'm not familiar.
Okay, good. So, okay, so you start with this piece of fish. Like, what do you then go into your pan? Like, how do you get your ideas for what the heck to do with fish?
So I was actually a little nervous that I was going to run out of ideas when making the book because there's over 65 recipes.
Wow.
I have to say, I had a list of 100 recipes when I first was brainstorming for the book. So I actually had to narrow it down. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And now I can't even find them on my computer. But I'll share them all eventually once I can find them again. But I think that I just I made a list of different cuisines around the world that I'm inspired by. So first I made like, you know, the recipes that came to my head off the bat, but then I really made a list of different cuisines and said, what can I do from these different cuisines that's still approachable? Like none of the recipes in the book are so complicated. They're really simple. Most of them take like 30 minutes tops to make, and they're all labeled in the book if they take 30 minutes, or there's a lot of prep that you could do ahead because it is like a meal prep sort of cookbook as well. There's a meal plan for it. So there are steps for a lot of the recipes that you can do in advance, whether it's making a vinaigrette or chopping up like a fruit salsa. So one of my favorite recipes was a Cajun snapper. So I made like a Cajun spice blend and put it on the snapper. But in advance, you can make the pineapple salsa that goes with it. So I like chopped up a pineapple with, I think there was some cilantro or red onion in there. I forgot exactly what was in each recipe. And so I tried to pair different flavors together that way.
I love it. And you know what? I actually find that to be the truth, a very big truth when it comes to plant-based eating, because a lot of people who eat a lot of meat, they think, what's for dinner tonight? It's a pork chop, it's a steak, you know, it's a chicken breast. And it's like people don't understand when you're a plant-based eater, they're like, well, how do you plan a meal if it's not around a pork chop? And it's like, oh, well, we plan meals around themes, right? So it's like sort of just how you said, your themes were more of this like world cuisine. It's like, okay, there's this. What kind of recipes could I make in that? So it goes exactly to what I think when I'm thinking about recipes for plant-based eating. It's like theme eating. So is there a recipe that is like kind of forgiving, that no matter what anybody has in their pantry right now, that sort of can play well with fish as like our base, like sort of an assignment the Pescetarian expert can sort of give us?
So I think I have a couple of recipes that might work well for people that I went through the book before. I'm on its like flag, the ones that, you know.
Okay, do you have the book right there?
Yeah, it's right here.
Look at that baby. I love it. I love that you could use it you already just alluded to this, but I love how you could use it as a cookbook. So I could just go in and use it as a standard cookbook. Or if I really wanted to follow along, you have it listed out for the 28 days, 4 weeks of eating.
So that's an example of the meal
Beautiful.
plan. And a lot of it leaves on leftovers. So like, you know, you make like a zucchini bread baked oatmeal and then you're eating it like day 1 and day 3 and day 5. So you're not cooking all the time.
Please. There is nothing worse than a meal plan, okay? And believe me, I've been hired to write these. And I do not know why I contribute to this madness. Meal plans do not need to be a different thing for every frickin' meal. So thank you, Chelsea.
Also with like meal prepping and meal planning, you want to make it as simple as possible for you. So meal planning and meal prepping can mean something different for every single person. I was just recording like a module for my group program people about this different like meal planning and meal prepping stuff, because people think that meal prepping has to be the same meal in a container for every single day, and that's just so not practical for people. So no, I'm all about leftovers and keeping it simple. And even if you prep like a couple of things during the week or take a few different, maybe like you need help for like breakfast, so you can follow it for just breakfast for 1 week, and then the next week maybe lunch, just to get some new ideas.
Love it. I love it. Cookbook and the meal plan, and the meal plan is actually realistic. That is a shocker, and I love it, right? It's like, that's fabulous. So, okay, yeah, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to see the beautiful little book
I'm happy to
in
show
person right there. So yeah, give us your couple of homework assignments or whatever for the Pantry Party viewers of like, okay, I'm going to take this step and make fish. What should I do?
Okay, so I think a lot of people have like canned tuna or canned salmon in their pantry right now. If you don't have frozen, if you're not going out shopping like soon, I think that that's a really good option to use and to have.
You got a lot of hearts on that. A lot of people are like, yep, I got the canned fish.
Yeah, so you have to use what you have on hand, and that's what we're all doing right now. So I think that thinking outside the box, so like what's a typical meal that people love that uses fish? Not necessarily canned fish, but what's a meal that uses fish? Sushi. So people love sushi. It's made with fish. So I took sushi and put it into a sushi salad. I called it a mason jar sushi salad. Try saying that like 10 times fast.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm not touching that one.
But I took a mason jar sushi salad, and you can use really any fish, and you pair it with rice, which a lot of people have in their pantry. Maybe you don't have seaweed in your pantry, but I have like a ton of those seaweed snacks.
Yep.
You know, you can crumble some of those up, but if you don't have that, just use like an extra little sprinkle of salt for that salty flavor. And then you can add some cucumber or edamame, and you could flake in, let's say, some tuna. It doesn't have to be, it's not gonna be like fresh sushi, but it's like sushi inspired. And then there's like a nice ginger dressing that goes with that.
Okay.
That's one.
Here's what I will tell you. You know how creative and thoughtful that is for us right now. Like, in all honesty, I mean, I don't mean to get all teared up, but like, I'm getting teared up. Like, that legit is somebody stepping up and saying, I have an actual solution that actually would work for people. It's like, you've got a can of fish or frozen fish or whatever the heck. Make a sushi salad. Like,
yeah.
Hello. And then, like you said, if you don't have the sushi things, you know, maybe you have extra salt, maybe you have sesame seeds. Hey, is that dressing something that is on your website?
No, it's in the book, but
okay.
I could share it. Maybe I'll share a screenshot of it.
Oh yeah, yes. If you would do that, you don't have to necessarily do it even right now. You could do it to me after, and I'll put it up in the notes so people can make your dressing. And then, you know, I think that's, I mean, honestly, and you know, whatever, use what you have to make the dressing, but I just think that's such a thoughtful idea. All right, so I interrupted. I needed to
thank you
for that.
Even if you don't have fish, a lot of times, like if you are in the mood for sushi, you could also just use edamame. I always have frozen edamame in the freezer, you know, and you could also make it just a heavy plant-based meal without the fish also, and you're getting plant-based protein and tons of nutrients from that too. So it's another solution for that. Something else that you can make is, let's see, I have one of my favorite recipes, which I did post the recipe on my feed, is my tuna avocado burgers. So you can use canned tuna, canned salmon, and the original recipe calls for canned fish as well. And it's just like a really simple burger. There's only a few recipes. You melt it together with your hands. throw on some avocado for all those healthy fats, and they're so filling and so satisfying. And you're totally transforming a canned product into a really nice meal.
I love that. And you know what? I have to say, I grew up, it's my grandma's birthday. She's passed away. I love her so much. But one of the things she taught me to make were salmon patties.
Yeah, my
salmon
grandma too.
Oh my gosh, like having my grandma's salmon patties is like, oh, it's so much heart in that. But can I just say, calling it a burger sounds way better to me. It's like, give me a salmon burger is even more craveable. So I love the word choice that you picked there. It's like a tuna burger with avocado or a salmon burger with avocado. I like that word choice. I think those are ridiculous ideas that are maybe simple to you, but to people who don't use fish or look at that canned tuna, and all I look at is I see, like mayonnaise,
Yeah.
I think those are thoughtful and creative, and like, to your point, sound fresh tasting, like not like I'm prison eating, but that I'm actually like living a fun food life.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, you got a lot of thumbs up and waves and all this. You got heart, triple thumbs up, all this stuff. I mean, those are great ideas, babe. I mean, so good. I knew you were going to bring it, but you really brought it. And, there was one time I wanted to interrupt, but I felt like I couldn't. You were like, we got to start thinking outside the box. I was like, we got to start thinking outside the can.
That's right.
Woo!
Still ball for you.
Oh, girl. Well, so tell us all. I mean, I think that's it. The Pantry Party Show, you've done it times a million. This is amazing. It is all about how to get fish, whether it's frozen or canned, and what to do with it. I love the idea of a sushi salad bowl kind of thing, right? I love that. It feels very filling, too, with that, like, rice in there. I love that idea. I'd love to get your dressing recipe. Actually, do you have it right there? You could just say it.
Yeah, let me.
I wouldn't mind it. I've been skeptical of canned fish. Now I'm interested. Sandra Rose, yes, girl, me too, right? Saying salmon burger and then putting the fresh avocado on there, I think is great. You know what I just did? I just experimented with the TikTok craze of freezing a whole avocado. Have you ever done it?
No, I haven't seen that one on TikTok, but let's just say TikTok is so overwhelming.
Oh, please. Let's not even, I couldn't even fall asleep last night. Half the reason was because I had TikTok dances and songs in my head. It was the worst. Anyway, I'm gonna post about it if it works out for me. Okay, so you have the recipe for the delicious sauce.
Yes, it has. So you need some ingredients that I don't know if everybody will have, but let's see. Chopped yellow onion, shredded carrots, rice vinegar, finely minced and peeled ginger, which sometimes, you could use fresh, but also sometimes they sell like those jars if you don't have, some people have that in their pantry.
Yeah, I do.
Some honey, low sodium soy sauce, like a hot chili sauce or like a sriracha, and minced garlic.
Oh, so do you put the onions and the carrots is actually in the dressing?
Yeah, so it's a blended dressing. So this is like one of those like thicker sort of, like how like at sushi places they have like that ginger dressing. That's what I'm going after. So that's like what this is, and it totally jazzes up like rice with the edamame and some of the seaweed and whatever fish if you want on there. It's like a really
Come on. It's just like when I think you get just as good as you can get, it's like she's fabulous. Then she comes up with this idea. I love salad dressings that have a base of blended food. It's like you're putting nourishing food on nourishing food.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Then you'll love, I also have in this book, which is also on my blog, but I like adapted it a little bit for the book. It's one of my all-time favorite salads. It's a zoodle salad with like an avocado miso dressing. So it like has like the blended avocado with some of the miso. That is like, I have to find it. That one is, you'll love that.
You got a lot of yums. You got a lot of comments of hearts and yums over here. That's crazy. Hey, do you think you could just like eyeball the dressing? Like, do I have to know exact measurements? Like you said, again, just to reiterate, it was onion, carrot, rice vinegar, ginger,
like some honey just to sweeten it up, some
honey,
sauce.
Soy
hot
sauce.
Chili sauce and
hot chili sauce. Probably those 7 ingredients. Because I'm thinking, like even if you're just eyeballing this stuff and, do what you can, like off recipe, that could be a good starting point.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh.
Experimenting. I also think like when you come up with like a dressing, it could totally transform a meal. So if you're getting sort of bored of like the grains and lentils or beans in your pantry, I think like find a new dressing to throw on it and you totally change your meal.
Oh my God, I love it. Wait, can you just, I'm obsessed with this carrot ginger dressing. How am I gonna make it? How do you think that, can you do like a screenshot right now? Like what can we do? I need that dressing.
Let me hold it up.
Oh, Carolyn O'Neill, the happiest nutritionist. Okay, so you guys take a screenshot right now. Wait, but the problem is it's like all the comments are in the way. How can I see that? Oh my God. Oh yeah, I can see it better. Wait, can I do a screenshot even though I'm doing a live right now? Oh my God, I'm gonna try it. No, I'm not gonna try it because then what if it ruins it? I'll send
it to you after.
Oh my God, it's just, girl, it's the genius idea. Food-based dressings are fabulous. But the happiest nutritionists and Carolyn O'Neill are giving you waves and thumbs up and everything. Girls, you've got to check this episode out from the beginning because I'll tell you what, it was cuckoo crazy. I have never learned so much. And you are the best.
Thank you. I'm so glad this was helpful.
Oh my gosh. I mean, legit. I taught cooking classes for 7 years. I do know a lot about cooking. But I'll tell you, the fish factor, it freaks me out sometimes. I need some inspiration. And I feel like you brought inspiration and confidence, which I think is the other thing when it comes to fish that we all need. Good. So where can we get more of your gloriousness? Like if people want more of you and they want to purchase your book, where can we go?
You can go to ChelseaAmerNutrition.com, and I spell Chelsea with a Y, which I think throws people off sometimes. But it's there from there, or you can go on Amazon and search Pescetarian cookbooks, and it should come up. It looks like this. And you can follow me on Instagram.
We just got fishpiration from the happiest nutritionist.
Tracy, yes. I love that.
Good job, girl. Okay, sorry to interrupt. All right, so we go to
ChelseaAmerNutrition.com. You can buy the book there. You can go to Amazon, search Pescetarian cookbooks and find it, or you can follow me, Chelsea Amer Nutrition, on Instagram, and you'll see tons of it.
Yeah, I really do suggest following her on Instagram. It is a happy place of food, pretty pictures. I love it. I can't thank you enough for all that you do for this profession. I mean, legit, I've always thought you were great, but I am #girl crushing.
Oh, thanks. The feeling's mutual, so we got
Oh, that's very fun. I feel like a castaway, so fish is great. There you go. Oh, Carolyn O'Neill. She is so fun. She's actually going to be a guest this week, too. So, so she'll bring it. Hey, thank you so much. Love you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and we will be in touch, baby.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
That was another fabulous episode of the Pantry Party Show. We had Chelsea Amer Nutrition with us. And I'll tell you what, I love episodes of the Pantry Party. This one was informative, inspirational, creative, delicious. If you think you don't like canned fish, you got to listen to her ideas. You freaked out about buying fish? You've got to listen to her ideas. It's great. And get her new book. I just love the idea. It's a 28-day pescatarian meal plan and cookbook. So you could use it as a meal plan or you could use it as a cookbook. Love that idea. Anyway, there are more days in this week, so you know what that means. There's more pantry parties to be happening. So tomorrow, tune in noon Central Time for another episode of the Pantry Party. Until then, and thanks for the makeup, love. I appreciate it. I got some orange lips on. For my guests, actually, I'm prepping lips for tomorrow. Tomorrow's guest gave me this lipstick, so I'm like practicing with it so I can do it with her tomorrow. We're having Carrie Gens on. She's a yoga martini nutritionist, basically, and fashionista. All right, fine. So until tomorrow, the Pantry Party Show is out and over, sending you high immunity vibes, big love, and lots of kisses.